Watch how watch how I break it down. I got walk on the way. Watch how they shaking now. Like a nigga two-way. Mixing this in and round. Cause Spider don't play. Got a whole lot of bitches around.
A joke gone wrong turned to a shotgun blast that took the life of a 19-year-old girl. And tonight, her family is speaking out for the first time after that shooter took a plea deal last week for no prison time, but probation instead.
In 2022, Marissa Dikeman was shot in the chest at point-blank range. The shooter called her into a room and then pulled the trigger intentionally. All of this came out in the Harris County Criminal Court here behind me. But despite those facts, this shooter was handed 5 years probation.
My angel in heaven, the next time that I meet you will be at the heaven's door. You'll be there to meet me, and I'll cry no more.
Linda Jackson reads us a poem about her granddaughter. She wanted to read on the stand, but she'll never get to.
I have no faith in the system anymore. None whatsoever.
In December of 2022, then 17-year-old Cayman Wilson, a family friend and co-worker, shot 19-year-old Marissa Dikeman in the chest with a shotgun in her Crosby home, according to records. They said at the time, Wilson was trying to play a joke.
He called Marissa in by saying, "Hey Marissa, come here, I want to show you something." And he shot her point blank in the chest.
She probably wasn't 5 feet away from the barrel of the shotgun. I'm glad I got to tell her bye. 2 hours before she died, I gave her a hug, kissed her, told her good night.
Wilson was charged with manslaughter. Records show he spent a day in jail. Then in August, he took a plea deal. The state asked for 15 years prison time. And last week, Judge Ana Martinez imposed 5 years of deferred adjudication.
This is like we emptied everything out of our soul.
According to the state, before the judge announced this verdict, she stated that she took into account multiple things that led up to the deadly shooting that happened here, including the facts that both calling Marissa into the room and pulling the trigger were both intentional actions. She also stated that she took into account the defendant's age and the fact that he performed CPR and called 911 immediately. What were you hoping for out of this?
Let's hope they at least get jail time, but at least that would show him that he did wrong.
Some justice for Marissa. You have to be accountable for what you do.
The district attorney sent us a statement saying, in part, we presented a compelling case with powerful evidence. Witnesses testified in heartbreaking detail about what they saw.
I hope that the image of Marissa, when he pulled that trigger, I hope that he sees that in his mind every night, because I do.
We reached out to Judge Martinez's office and Wilson's criminal defense attorney, but we have yet to hear back from either of those parties. I'll update this story if we do. Reporting live, Abigail Dye, Fox 26 News.
Well, my mind is all over the place. Listening to this, first of all I could think about is the fact that he attempted CPR and he called the police as soon as she went down, as soon as he shot her. That's the criteria. That's all he needed to do. Do you know what kind of message you send into the public, allowing people to do stuff like this, and there's no jail time, and all he got is 5 years probation? That's crazy. Now I want y'all to think about something, because I do feel bad for this family, man. I never want to see people lose their life, especially over things like this. Entitlement is going to destroy this country. Entitlement is going to destroy this country. Now, what do I mean? Well, when you got people who can do stuff like this and get away with it, don't you know that people use means to things like this to use the system to their advantage? Now, when stuff like this happens to my people, nobody really cares. Now, if people were held accountable for doing things like this, regardless of what their skin color is, people would not be able to get away with just shooting people in the chest with double barrel shotguns, point blank range, and nothing happening. And I don't understand how that's a joke. How is that a prank? What's funny about it? How could anything about that be a prank? You using a gun and shooting somebody point blank range in the chest with a double barrel is a joke? What the hell kind of joke is that? People out here are crazy, are lunatic, psychotic. That's crazy. And they said they took his age into account. But he was 17 years old. And the family said, hey, we wanted at least some jail time. The DA said at least, 15 years in jail. And really, that's nothing. Even if he got 15 years, he's 17. He would have got out at what, age 32 at the most? Good behavior, maybe 27. All he get is probation? That is insane. I remember when you used to take a person's life, man, like that was a serious charge. Now it seems as if you take somebody's life and nothing happened. There's like no accountability being held by anybody. I feel so bad for this family. That girl was 19 years old and lost her life, and no accountability is being held on neither the judicial side or this young man's side. And they try to get in contact with the family. Of course, they're not going to respond because they literally getting away with taking somebody's life. And why would they respond? What are they going to say? They're going to try to keep this under wraps as much as possible. And this young man get to go and live his life like he didn't do anything. Accountability is not held in this country. People, I understand people that make the biggest mistakes and people that slack the most in this country get the most leniency. The people that cheat their way to the top, the people that make the biggest, most egregious mistakes, they get a slap on the wrist and they get to go live their life and basically have other people pay for their consequences. Stuff like that, like, think about it. You can sue somebody literally for anything in this country. I heard about a case of some dude or some woman suing his parents because he was born and he didn't choose to be here. You literally can waste people's time and sue them for almost anything. And given the circumstances, you could really take somebody's life and not go to jail for it. Given the circumstances, oh, well, he's young. Oh, well, he attempted CPR, so that just makes it right. That doesn't make any sense. I would be utterly pissed. I would be extremely pissed off if this was my child, if this was my grandchild or anything. No jail time. No jail time. It's really hard for me to believe that. Guys like him always do stuff like this, but because he get no jail time, because there's no conviction, this is not going to count as a violent crime. People in my community, they get jail time for violent crimes. He's getting nothing. He get to walk away scot-free. He get to go to bed. He only spent 1 day in jail. That's crazy. For blowing somebody's chest off. For taking somebody's life. Accountability being removed in the United States. I remember when the election was going on, everybody was talking about these migrants coming in here, and they were trying to feed these migrants, and you know what they were doing? They were saying, no, we want our cultural food. We don't want this. So they were throwing the food away. Entitlement. No accountability for the fact that you decided to come here. No accountability for the fact that you decided to take the risk. You knew all the risks you were taking, and you still decided to pay somebody to smuggle you over here. Forget all that. I need my cultural food. The fact that the United States have no accountability, they pick and choose who they want to be accountable. Even when you have children, they pick and choose which parents they want to be responsible to take care of that child. And if you don't take care of that child, you might go to prison. Accountability is going to destroy this country. Because when you don't hold people accountable, you know what that do? That make them more bold. When people get bold, they get dangerous. And they start doing stupid stuff. They start doing boneheaded shit. I remember I had this friend. He used to always get in trouble. And when he got into his teenage years, when he got around 16, his mom, she had a hard time dealing with him. So you know what she did? She put him in an orphanage. And he was 16. He only had to be there for 2 more years. That's it. You know what happened? He left the orphanage at 18 years old. He started working. He got all this opportunity. When you're an orphan at 18, the government takes responsibility for you until you are 24 years old. So the government was paying my friend like $2,000 a month. Plus they would pay for his college. They were giving him all this stuff, housing, all of this stuff. And because he was getting all these things at 18 years old, didn't really have to work for it, he squandered a lot of it. And when he hit 24 years old, he had no money saved. He had no skills, no trades, none of that. Started at square one at 24. Because when you have people that's always willing to take the bullet for you, you don't care where the shot's coming from. When you always have people that's willing to take the punch for you, you don't care who's swinging, you don't care where they swinging. You be reckless. And the fact that the United States let people do things like this, the fact that the United States don't really make people be accountable for their decisions, it makes people careless and reckless. Careless enough to pull out a double-barrel shotgun and shoot somebody square in the chest as a joke. Oh, I didn't know that it was loaded. That's not an excuse. Why are you playing with a gun? More so, why are you using it as a joke on somebody else? This is unacceptable, man. This is 100% unacceptable. This is unacceptable. I think the family should sue whatever state this is in. I think the family should sue them. I think the family should really consider suing them for that. Because so far, I'm starting to see the judicial system in the United States just get worse and worse and worse. There's just too many instances when I'm seeing people out here breaking the law and doing things that are dangerous, you know, assaulting people physically and sexually and getting no jail time. It's just going to make things worse. And now you got this. A young boy who got a body, 17 years old, no jail time. He about to be amongst the public with people like me and people like you. Anyway, man, y'all send y'all prayers to this young lady. I wanted to bring awareness to this, man. God bless, man. And y'all be safe out there.